Thanks for tuning in to the Finding Wisdom show. I'm your guest host, Bharti Tiwari, and it is my honor to present with me here Miss India International 2011 first runner-up, Miss Priyanka Gianchandani. Welcome, Priyanka. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Bharti?
I'm very well. A little known fact, Priyanka has a professional modeling background through Barbizon. Is that true?
Yes.
And is also a professional stage dancer. What is your specialty in stage dancing?
Well, I started dancing at the age of 3, watching movies, and then professionally at the age of 7, I started ballet, and I did ballet for 3 years, and then I stopped ballet. Then at the age of 12, I started Marathi folk, and with Marathi folk, I went on to, at the age of 13, I started Bharatanatyam, and then at the age of 14, I started Kathak, and then I went on to, when I was 15, hip-hop. So
wow, that's a transition.
Yeah, but I'm glad I actually had this opportunity because it allowed me to have, I actually was able to perform on stage with a lot of actors and actresses, and I was part of a troupe.
Wonderful.
And what we did exactly was that we were backstage dancers. So, for example, my first break was with dancing with Dino Maria. I think that's how you say his name.
Dino Moria.
Moria,
yes,
yeah. So he came and he was doing a segment on Devanand, and it was a song, and that's how I started.
Awesome. Well, that's good. You sounds like you're very energetic as well. So I have 2 left feet, so I cannot dance at all. So what interests you into the world of pageantry?
Well, I always wanted to be part of a pageant, but you know, at the age of 14, I actually had gotten braces, and my first introduction to pageants was when I danced with my group. I was part of Arya Dance Academy at that time, and they held the Miss, I think it was for New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Connecticut, and I think those were the 3 states, and that's the first pageant that I first saw like with my own eyes. So I always wanted to be part of one, but my father was like, "Oh, you have braces, you know, don't go into a pageant. You're
That's
not
okay.
gonna
I'm
win."
a former braces girl myself. So.
Yeah, I'm sure you understand.
Yeah.
So when I decided that I wanted to do a pageant was this past May, and that was my first pageant. And I actually had experience like just watching, but I've never, you know, been part of one.
Right.
And when Juhi Jagyasi, our director, had contacted me, she, you know, originally I had spoken to her, and I was a first runner-up for New Jersey.
Okay.
So she wanted me to represent New Jersey, and I went on to the pageant for Miss India International. And then May 2011 is when I was crowned first runner-up. So that was my first pageant, but then in October, I went on to my another pageant. I went on to Miss New Jersey 2012. It's part of the Miss Universe
pageant, right,
yeah, so like Donald Trump organizes it. So as part of that, I didn't win anything there. It's okay. And then the week after that,
that's okay. At least you tried. So
I
you know, I could never do something like that. So you're fine. You're fine. How do you think the pageant has changed you, and has it been a stepping stone for future goals?
Well, I've always been wanting to do modeling and acting. I originally started acting and modeling because of the fact that I wanted to be a Bollywood actress, but as of now, it's just a hobby because I am pre-med and I want to go on to med school.
Oh, wonderful.
So right now it's just a hobby, but with my title, I have gotten opportunities. I recently got the opportunity to be a spokesmodel for a Cinderella Bride, so I've been modeling for them. And after that, I've been able to do a fashion show. 2 weeks ago, I was part of Too Hot to Handle. It was a fashion show for 3 designers, and the organizer had called me and wanted me to be part of it, and then I've gotten a lot of other opportunities from movies. I've actually been asked to be part of I don't know the name of the movie, I think they were still doing the script, but it was, I was going to be a lead with Imran Hashmi. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yes, I know Imran Hashmi as very well.
So yeah, I was offered that, and you know, with the title, I have gotten opportunities to do fashion shows and photo shoots, and
I mean, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. Now, I'm going to go back to your pre-med background because I find that fascinating because you are, you know, in pageants, and it seems that you're doing a lot of stuff in the visual arts.
Right.
So I kind of want to go back to that. But for now, I actually wanted to ask you this question. Do you believe that there are stereotypical stigmas in pageants? Like, there are some people that are like, oh, it's, you know, it's dehumanizing. You're putting girls up there, and you know, things like, and especially being of the Desi community, it's you know, parents are old-fashioned or family. What do you say to that?
Well, I actually, you know, can understand why people would feel that way, just because of the fact that, you know, a lot of girls have been going, like, since they were very young, like maybe the age of 3, they've gone to go on stage, and it's because the parents want them to, you know. But in our community, on the other hand, you know, a lot of people say, like, you shouldn't. But I feel that pageants, because of the fact that it gives you a stepping stone to modeling, and in our society, it's frowned upon. So I feel that maybe that is the stigma or the stereotype that they give. But also, I feel like as a pageant girl, you know, there is drama. So maybe a lot of pageant girls, why they would say that, oh, you know, it's, you know, not somewhere that we would want to be because of the fact that you have to be fake, or, you know, so that's like, you know, the part
because they don't see it as real, as a realism. They see it as just a pageant, and that's it. So now, you were saying about culture. Now, I've been doing a little background on you. Now, you are Sindhi?
Yes.
Did I say it right? Can you tell us a little bit more about what Sindhi is? What is the definitive cultural attributes in the South Asian community? Especially, you're from Jersey, right?
Yes.
Big Desi community. So, yeah, if you can give us a little.
Well, I was born in New Jersey, so I've only been in India when I visited.
Okay.
And actually, Sindh is where, you know, Sindhis are populated. Sindh right now currently is in Pakistan. So I don't know if any of you have heard of Karachi, but Karachi is the capital of Sindh. So Sindh is in Pakistan, so a lot of people that, you know, were part of Sindh, that were Sindhi, or even, you know, Hindus, because of the partition in 1947, a lot of them had moved out, and they, you know, traveled to other places like Hong Kong, and yes, some stayed in India, some stayed in Sindh. You know, there are a lot of Hindus, Sindhis there. I'm Hindu myself, but there are some that, you know, went to other countries. So, you know, there are people in South Africa, there's people all over the place.
So what you're saying, Sindhi is more of a community rather than, and you're part Punjabi as well?
Yes.
So Sindh is basically a community, rather than a religious sect.
Yeah,
okay,
it's not religious.
It's a community, basically. That's wonderful.
It's like a culture. You know, we have our own language. It sounds a lot like Punjabi, and there's a lot of other dialects it sounds like. But you know, there are a lot of like culture aspects to Sindhi. You know, it is a good, like, it's pretty big and established. So it definitely is, you know, a community. But right now, I just feel like Sindhis are all over the place. You know, I'm pretty sure all Indians are also, but you know, Sindhi people are really all over the place.
Well, that's wonderful. I've never met a Sindhi pageant girl, so.
Have you heard of Deepak Parvani? He's a Sindhi designer.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I'm going to Google that, so thanks for that. Now, you attend Rutgers University, right?
Yes, I do.
And you just said that you're pre-med as your, well, is that a major, really?
It's a career path. I am a double major in exercise science and nutritional sciences.
Oh, wonderful. Yes. So you're going to be giving everybody who's in the obesity range here something to think about, right?
Well, yeah, also, but I actually want to be a pediatric cardiologist.
Oh, wonderful.
So I want to work with little children, and just like the obesity epidemic, I actually want to make sure that
they're eating nutritiously.
Yes.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I mean, I'm a very big advocate on nutritional eating, actual food eating, you know, because we do come from a food culture. South Asian culture is like very food oriented. So, you know, I want to keep that, but a little bit healthier, less ghee. Okay, I find that really interesting. So,
thank you.
Tell us about Om. Like
Om Creation?
Yes.
I actually just recently joined with them. I am a assistant dance teacher for them, and they established this year. They just started in, I think it was over the summer. I know it since September because I auditioned and I became assistant teacher for them in August. So I know since September they started classes, but I think they had summer camps also.
Okay.
And they're actually a dance company. They do a lot of shows. They're preparing for Nayandas. That's coming
very
up.
nice.
Yeah,
that's always in Jersey, right?
Yes.
It's a huge dance competition.
Yes.
I mean, it's beautiful.
Thank
I've
you.
never gotten to go, but I think I'll try to make it out there sometime soon.
You should.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions here about, since you're in the pre-med background.
Sure.
Now, recently, the United States government has created an act of contraceptive. Now, there's some religious, institutions that don't agree for it. What do you think, as a young woman getting into the field of medicine, what do you think about it?
Well, it's purely subjective. It depends on person to person, but I feel that contraceptive is beneficial just because of the fact that, as you may know, the population of China and India is so high, and because of the high populations, all over the world, the population is just increasing. You want to make sure that we have health care for everyone, and I feel like because we keep reproducing, we're not looking out for, we're not trying to stop a lot of, for example, the obesity, problems. A lot of these health problems are increasing because we can't afford it, and the reason why we can't afford it is because the population keeps increasing. So I feel that, if you use contraceptive for a reason that, you want to make sure like the world is, better.
There's a healthy populace then, okay.
Yeah, so then that, I feel that's fine, but if you're, being a little promiscuous and using it, I just feel that you're using it for the wrong reasons.
Right, okay. How do you feel, like India is now like the second powerhouse financially, globally, just like everything right now. How do you find India's progression in women's health care reform? Do you find it like, is it moving? Is the medicine there, being true, going all over India, or is it just kind of like more privatized? Do you feel that women's health issues are?
I just feel that, India is progressing for sure. But as I mentioned earlier, because of the fact that there's a population, such a great population, there are financial problems, and that's where, there are government hospitals there are private hospitals there, but, if you're going to a government hospital, because in general, the field of medicine, if an MD has so many patients, you have limited time with the patient. So there's the, you're not relating to the doctor as much because he's just trying to prescribe you and give you medicine, and when you're just going to him, he might not be diagnosing you, so he might give you the wrong medication, or it's not gonna help you. And on top of that, medicine is so expensive, so yeah, there is opportunities for women that can afford it, but then again, it depends on economics,
of course. Do you find yourself as a future physician going back to India to do anything?
The funny part is I actually do want to go to India, and I want to open up shelter homes for people that cannot afford the health care there. So I want to be able to make sure, especially children, because I feel that as you're aging, and I love my grandparents, but if I see that there's an elderly that's in trouble and then a child, I'd rather want to help the child because he's got a long way to go. For someone that's at a certain age bracket. Like when they, an 80-year-old man could definitely, understand that.
Of course. And you definitely want to be in cardiac pediatric care, which is wonderful. I think it's very noble of you.
Thank you.
More power to you.
Thank you.
Okay, so little lighter questions. Do you think, now you're a fan of Hindi Bollywood cinema and stuff like that, okay, so do you think Hindi cinema has progressed in terms of directing, acting, art cinema, or do you believe that its identity has faded into Western counterculture, like it's trying too much to be of other people rather than to be an individual?
Well, I feel that Western culture definitely has an influence, but there is creativity. Like some movies, they're, you know, replica of some Hollywood movies, but others, you know, they have a little twist to them, or, you know, they have some creativity there. So yes, there is an influence of different cultures, but I also feel like they incorporate the Indian culture by putting that creativity in there. So
yeah,
they're definitely.
What is your favorite Hindi movie, past or present?
Recently, just for the sake of comedy, I loved Desi Boys. I loved John Abraham's acting. He's progressed, so I really liked that.
Do you have a favorite, you know, Hindi Bollywood's actress that you would aspire to, like, oh wow, she's a great actress or a great actor?
Well, you don't see much of her more, but now. But I love Rani Mukherjee. I feel she's very talented. After Kajol, she's, you know, someone that I really looked upon. So like I mean I looked to her, like I looked up to her. So I definitely felt that, you know, she was someone that was really, really talented, and she definitely has come out with a lot of great movies. So I definitely look up to her.
I love Rani myself. She's great. I love her voice. Okay, so what's next on your agenda, and how do you feel your time in the pageant will positively affect your community, and not just the Sindh community, but like South Asian community on a whole?
Well, as my platform, although first runner-ups don't have a platform, I wanted to help a lot of girls start their modeling careers. So what I did was I networked with a lot of people, and if, you know, they need models, I put up casting calls. And for people that don't want to be, or girls that do not want to be a model, they just want to, you know, keep up with the fashion, I have a fan page, so I put up my tips on there. So they're daily fashion tips that they could just look at, and you know, I help the community in that way. So what I try to do is I keep the community aware of fashion, and it doesn't really matter, you know, what community you're in. I feel like the tips are definitely, you know, reaching out to them, and I've gotten a lot of messages, so I'm really glad that I have a lot of supporters, so thank you, supporters. And I just feel that overall with my pageant title, I was able to have a platform and help the community in such a way that, you know, they benefited from something.
Yeah, you're giving back to the arts then, would you say?
Right.
Okay, wonderful. We need more of that, because as you know, in South Asian culture, you're either an engineer or something, so we definitely need something like that. You know, you're into theater.
Yes.
You said you're into acting, all that stuff. Now, do you find that, you know, mainstream television shows, American television shows, what have you, do you find that upcoming South Asian actors are actually being represented properly, like not something that's Slumdog Millionaire-esque, but something a little bit more of serious actors? Or do you find that we kind of get the same roles as the 7-Eleven guy, or the, you know, the exotic, you know, beauty or something? What do you think? Has it been changing, or do people see South Asians in the media differently?
I personally feel that we do have the opportunity. It totally depends on, you know, the talent that you have. So there are a lot of actors that have come out, you know, they've had good roles, and yes, there are, you know, extras. I've been an extra myself, but it totally depends if you want to go there. So if you're a South Asian who's trying really hard, I'm pretty sure you're going to get the role that you want. But it totally depends on if you're willing to go that far. So if you know, want to be an extra, and you know, you're not trying, I feel that if you want the role, then you should definitely go out to it. You know, you should definitely be the one that's doing the auditions, and, you know, give it your best, because you don't want to end up getting a small role, like
the best friend, or the, you know.
So I mean, yes, there are people that do, but then again, I feel that people of all other ethnicities get the same kind of roles. So, you know, if you are trying to go for the main lead, then give it your best. And if you're just trying to be an extra, then I'm pretty sure that you're going to get that extra, because
you didn't try too hard.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there. You know what I find, which is so funny, there aren't any roles that kind of are for South Asians. So, you know, you being in the industry of, this is somewhat entertainment and in theater and acting and everything in between, you know, it's important for people such as yourself to define yourself on stage or in film and say that, you know, I am Priyanka the person, not I am Priyanka the Indian girl from Jersey.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So, I mean, I find it, you know, very interesting that, you know, you're willing to kind of push boundaries in a sense. Do you know what I mean? I mean, are you willing to?
Yeah, definitely. I feel that, you know, if you want to strive for something, then you definitely have to go for it. It's not going to come your way. I mean, this goes for not only girls or, you know, young boys that are trying in our community, but also in other communities. I feel that it's overall about how you want to do it. So if you want a small role, you're gonna get the small role because that's what you wanted. But if you strive for something bigger and if you work towards it, then you're gonna get what you want.
Yeah, you're very positive. I love that.
Thank you.
Of course, you're in pageant, so you have to be very positive. Another thing is I want to kind of go back to social issues because you know you are a first runner-up of Miss India International. I just wanted to know, how do you feel about organizations in a sense of women's organizations that help attain South Asian women in America, particularly their independence, in a sense of like if they're going through a domestic violence problem or even a language barrier? Do you feel yourself in the future kind of volunteering, working with an organization like that? And how do you feel like the progression of women's independence, particularly in South Asian women?
Well, I was a Girl Scout when I was young, so I did work with a lot of women that were, you know, going through domestic violence, and this was for anyone really. But recently, I just came across a organization. It was called Bidya, and it's founded in New Jersey. So my mother, she actually supports Bidya.
Wonderful.
So, you know, they help with girls that are going through a lot, you know, little girls. And I feel that if there are other organizations that they network with that, you know, help with that. So there are organizations that do help, and, you know, they are progressing and they are trying to help South Asian women. And if we stick together as women, then we could definitely get through. So in the future, I definitely, you know, with the shelter homes, I do want to help women that are going through.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. I mean, that's great. I'm glad that you're progressing in that manner and trying to kind of fill the void, because I feel like it's a silent pain within the community, regardless of what part of South Asia you're from. I mean, it's just something that, you know, you're instilled with and you grew up with, and you see it on, you know, if you go into the old Hindi cinemas, like 40s, 1950s, you see it, and it's like, oh, it's okay, you know, but you as a person, as an independent person, I'm liking your vibe. So please keep it up, and, you know, just keep on inspiring in that sense, and, you know, keep us informed with everything. I have what they call a quick fire 5.
Sure.
And I'm going to tell you one word, and each word you're just going to give me something that comes to mind, okay?
Sure.
So, film?
Bollywood.
Okay. Food?
Indian.
Okay. Strength? Where do you find your strength?
Smiling.
Okay. Love?
My family.
A future?
Doctor.
Doctor. Oh, that's a very good quick fire.
Thank you.
Do you have any expectations of where you want to go for medical school?
Right now, I'm just graduating in May. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you. And I'm most likely going to be doing a master's for 1 year.
Okay.
And then I'm trying to apply this summer, so hopefully I'll get into somewhere locally. My parents want me to go to UMD&J, so maybe I'll get into UMD&J, or I'll go down south because I like the warm weather.
Yeah.
So I want to go somewhere warm.
The cold is not good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you like to get your master's in?
Right now I am trying to apply for nutrition, master's in nutrition, so nutrition programs or biological. I'm also a minor in biological sciences, so with that I could also get a master's in bio. So
Bio.
yeah.
Wonderful. That's,
Thank you.
You're a shoo-in.
Thank you.
You're pretty and smart, so that's good. Okay, so quickly, your parents, what background are they? What do they? What are their professions?
Their professional background?
Yeah.
My father, he's in computers, and my
Mm-hmm.
mother, she's in immigration. She counsels. She's a lawyer. So
Wow. So seeing as that your mom is an immigration lawyer,
mm-hmm.
how do you feel about what's going on right now with the kind of pull strings with the immigration enforcement here in the U.S.?
Well, right now I know things have gotten strict over the past decade.
Mm-hmm.
You know, definitely because of 9/11, they've pulled, you know, more strings, and they've also become very strict. But I also feel like they've started to reinforce, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. They're trying to protect our country, so you know we have homeland security that way. But I feel like people that are coming from other countries, they used to come here for the opportunities that they used to have,
Mm-hmm.
and if they're not going to be able to do that, then you know they might not be able to find success where they want to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's totally subjective again. So
Yeah, it is definitely a subjective, you know, platform. It's pretty broad. You know, how do you feel, seeing as that you know your mom is into the immigration as well, the representation of Indians in America? Yeah.
Actually, especially in my area,
Yeah.
like every other person is Indian.
Yes.
So I just feel that, you know, it's good that, you know, we have Indians coming here and striving and becoming really successful in their fields. And I just feel like over the years, I feel like our population's going to keep on increasing. I know, like, we're still considered a minority. And you know, going to Rutgers, I've had a lot of.
I think what's been happening as a minority now, President Obama has been, you know, he's been practicing the Diwali every year, lighting the diyas and stuff. So
Right.
we're trying to. I think now we're trying to get it as an official holiday where people can get off. So
Yeah.
I think it's coming close.
Yes.
You know.
Yes,
Well,
definitely.
I think it's coming close. So.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think we're on a progressive route, and definitely people like you are making it a progressive.
I hope
turnaround.
there's a lot of other people trying to, you know, get to where they want to, and definitely help the community, because.
Well, you're one of them.
Thank
You're
you.
one of them. You don't wear that sash for nothing. So the sash is in here, right? So.
Thank you.
You know, you can progress any way, how, with or without it, because I think that you have a very interesting personality. So
Thank you.
It's wonderful. You know, so. Well, Priyanka, it's been good talking to you
Thank
here
you.
on Finding Wisdom Show. And I do hope you can come back again when you're famous and you win your Oscar and save young children all over the world from cardiac problems.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you so much.
Thank
you. That was really good.
Yeah.
Very good. It's very interesting background.
Thank you.
It's very good.